How to render hair. My sister asked me for a rendering tutorial, and when I asked for what part, she said, Hi, I'm making a rendering series on how I render my art, cause why not? Before I start, I should let you know there is no right or wrong way, other than AI, to make art. This tutorial is simply how I do it, and it is merely a suggestion that you can try it out if you want to. Part 1. Hair. This is more for straight, wavy, or slightly curly hair. I'll do curly and coil or just black hair tutorials in general later. Hair rendering consists of 5 steps. Step 1. Sketch. Draw a rough sketch on what the hairstyle is supposed to look like. Use a hair color that contrasts the hair color. In my case, my hair is going to be a dark red, so I'm going to use a neon green. This will help later. It doesn't have to be a perfect sketch, just draw out the shapes of what the hair is supposed to look like. Draw out the curls, draw out the direction of the hair. Like if it's pinned back, it should flow to the pinpoint. Step 2. Use a hairbrush to make the base of the hair. I use this one. Screenshot for QR codes. This is only going to work for Ibis Paint. The brushes do not belong to me. Let me know if you need a tutorial on how to acquire brushes on Ibis Paint. So you start with the sculpt of the character, basically where the roots are going to be. It can be a little messy on the edges because that's what a natural hairline is going to look like, but don't make it too jagged. You can also draw in baby hairs around the hairline and the back of the neck if it is visible. This brings out a more realistic look for the hair and for the hairline because that's what real hair is supposed to look like. It can be a little messy with the baby's hair because hair is never going to look perfect all the time. Then you draw out your bangs. Make a new layer for each curl as it will help shade it on better later on. You can also make different layers for when your hair is going to go in different directions. Say supposedly in the bun, the hair is going in 2 different directions in some place. In those cases, you make a new different layer for each direction. And as you go, you're allowed to make mistakes. You can just erase them with an eraser and hide them behind ears or stuff like that. So if those mistakes happens, it's okay. You can just erase them and it will be done so. Step 3. Shading. You will need this brush. And you will need 2 darker shades than the base hair color is. You will select the hair layer, make a new layer, and then shade the hair lightly on the direction of the hair flow. This is so they will look like individual hair strands. Only color in more heavily where there is shade falling in the inner parts of the curls or where the face is hiding the hair. Then you will take the next darker shade and place it where the shades will fall, and you reduce the opacity of the brush the further away you are from the shade. After you have shaded all of the hairs and individual layers, after that you will realize there's a lot of parts that are overlapping that aren't really blending together. So what I like to do is I like to create a layer on top of all the layers, and I use the brushes, the 2 dark colors, to slightly work with the shades of each other and sort of blend it out and make it seamless where the hair is working together, flowing together. This is a very crucial step because without it the hair feels way too animated or it doesn't feel right, it feels jaggedy, it feels incomplete. Step 4. Highlights. Highlights is like a reward for rendering hair. You will need 3 lighter colors from the base color, the same brush. You start with the least lightest color and place it where the lighting may hit the hair the most, depending on where the light direction is coming from. You will start with a sort of curved line on the most outer part and make it a little more smaller on the inner parts with a couple long lines in the middle, like this. Using the next lightest hair color, you will do the same with a smaller brush size and within the already highlighted parts. And then last but not least, you will use the lightest color and draw a little squiggly line across the highlight and make it a little long on the most outer parts. Step 5. Finishing touches. I like to draw some more baby hairs, extra strands, hair jewels, put a little bit of sparkles on the highlights and make it look more alive and sparkly, because that's how I do it. You can also make sure that the hair is proper and the shades are there. If you don't think there's enough shading, you can put in more shading using a dark blue shadow light, which I use. And that's how I render hair. Let me know what tutorial you want next. I'm sorry if this tutorial wasn't that good because it's sort of my first time kind of doing it. So let me know, okay? Bye bye!